Hello guys. To be honest, it's really difficult to name this game, how to explain, how to say, how to describe. It's really difficult. But yeah, I have to say that this was one of the most beautiful checkmates I have ever seen, especially in classic time control. This type of things happens once in a while, and I don't remember actually such beautiful checkmate in last years. Maybe something happened, but I don't remember. And yeah, and another interesting thing is actually another fact is makes this more interesting, that we have seen that checkmate from 14 years old kid. We can call him kid, and he is Yagiz Kaan Erdogmus, who is recent genius that all the chess world talks about him. And recently he participates in Fide Grand Swiss 2025, which is placing in Samarkand in Uzbekistan. And what makes this tournament really one of the greatest tournaments, first place and second place are going to qualify for candidates, and whoever wins the candidate goes to play world championship match. So, and that's actually basically one of the biggest goals of every professional chess player, to participate in this tournament and also managing to performance well, and qualifying for candidates, and at least playing in candidates, and of course also you just trying your best. And that's why all the top players, whoever you're thinking, like you can ask, this player also playing there? Yes, he is also playing there. Like all the top players are participating in this tournament, of course, except Caruana, Hikaru Nakamura, and Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen doesn't want to play classic, and he doesn't actually care about world championship titles, so that's why he doesn't participate. Fabiano Caruana already qualified for the candidates with winning 2024 Fide circuit. And Hikaru Nakamura will be playing there because of his rating, that he's the second of the world. And so that's why they don't participate. But beside of them, every single player are playing in this tournament. And Yagiz Kaan Erdogmus already made 3 out of 4. And in such tournaments, 3 out of 4 is not sound. It doesn't sound actually great score, but we have to also see that, like, first game he beat Karyachkina, which is one of the legend women players, and she can just play against everybody. And the second game was against Gukesh Tomeroju. You can find that game in my channel too. And he drew against Gukesh. And in third game, he drew against Vincent Keimer, which he actually missed winning against Vincent Keimer. And Vincent Keimer recently is on the 8th place of the world. And this game he managed to win with great checkmate. And next round he will be facing with Nodirbek Abdusattarov. Anyway, I think it was long enough intro, and let's see actually what happened in this game. Aditya Mittal, which is also really nice player from India. As you can see, his rating is almost 26. As far as I know, he back in the days he was over 2600. I'm not sure, but now recently rating is a bit dropped. And anyway, after c4 we're seeing English opening, and Yagiz Kaan Erdogmus plays e6. After e6, knight c3, d5, d4, d takes c4, and then e4 has been playing. And after c5 we see d5 takes back, and bishop comes to d6 to stop this pawn and doesn't let it go anymore. And after bishop takes c4, and knight comes to e7. And after e7, h3 is one of the most prophylactic moves that avoids this bishop to come on this line. And after castling, knight develops to f3 and prepares this short castling, and knight comes to d7. We're still developing our pieces, and castling, and knight jumps to b6, asking for this bishop. And after that bishop, white pieces doesn't mind to give that pawn away, that bishop away, since he will take it back with pawn, and he will have this, white piece will have this pawn chain in the center, and also this open filed in the future. And knight comes to g6, knight e4, bishop comes to ask for this one, and knight takes this bishop, queen takes back, and this queen comes to b3, and also kind of supporting here, also coming with attacking here, and also in the future putting this rook here. And will be some ideas, maybe not yet because this bishop looking here, but maybe after a3 or a4 this rook come to a2 and b2, so might be created some attack on this open file, because why not. And here we see b6 since it was under attack, and after b6 a4 appears over the board, and a5. But a5, it actually looks like a bit ugly move because of creating this isolated pawn on b6. But as we mentioned earlier, even though there is this b6 isolated pawn, but it's not actually easy to attack on that pawn, since as we mentioned this is here, but maybe in the future this one's. But of course until this rook will be placed on b2, black piece also will do some other stuff, so it's not gonna be that easy. But on the other hand, still white has some ideas and good position because of this passed pawn, which looks great, and in the future we will try to invest on it, and we'll try to push and promote queen. Rook comes e1, another open file has been captured, and rook comes to ask to trade, and it doesn't trade because he doesn't want to give this file away. And bishop comes to e3, also looking on this area. After h6, also kind of creating some window for our king in the future. And as we mentioned, rook a2, aiming to come here and attack on this pawn. And then bishop comes to e4, and here it is actually super complicated. Like for example, like this knight comes back, which looks like really nice and natural move, attacking on this bishop, but it was not actually that good, because knight h4, and after knight h4 bishop takes it. How it takes it? Because if you take it, it just takes this, recapture this bishop back. So actually white didn't lose anything, just even earned the pawn, and also gained some more dominant and more active game, let's say. And that's why we are not gonna take it. But after bishop takes c5, queen comes to g5, and here you can't play this one because after that it's just checkmate here. And also you can't play this one as well, because after this sorry again still. And of course you have to play g3, and I mean, this cannot come here yet, and it will be it will be like this for a while, by the way. That's why I already mentioned it. I mean, which was one of the simple ideas for white pieces to attack on this isolated pawn, but still it's not possible to create that attack proper way. And after g3, which is only move to play, but this bishop comes to g2, and it's crazy position. For example, if you can't even take it after taking this, like you don't have a lot to do. Let's say if bishop e3 and bishop just h3, and look at here, it's this king is like it's not good at all. And that's why after coming here, this bishop goes here instead of trading, and also asking for this knight. But after taking this knight, actually you cannot take it, because because then it's just yeah, you're losing this rook. That's why you can't take this knight as well. And even though this knight looks like hanging, but it doesn't hanging. And bishop takes h3 because why not. And then king comes to h2, as I said. Yeah, has to do something here. And then knight jumps to g2. After knight g2, rook comes to e5. And after f6, which is great move, and queen takes b6 also, which is great move actually, because now you cannot take this rook, this queen hanging. But after that, knight comes back to f4, and knight f4, rook e4, and then queen comes here. You cannot take it. For example, if you take it, it's just bishop f5, discovered check, and king g1, queen g4, it's just over. White needs to resign. And also you can't take it this way as well, because there is bishop g4 again. Actually, that's what happened in the game. Yeah, taking is still good, but black pieces are already a slightly better position. After this, there's some discovered check here. King g2, rook x e7, capturing that bishop, and this rook goes back to a1 to defend this e1 square. And then with doubling our rooks, this rook comes to f1. But actually, best move was queen b1. Like queen b1 is like, yeah, better move for defending, but rook f1 is most natural, most human move, let's say. That's why, which is understandable. And after that, bishop comes to h3. Here he missed it, but actually best idea was rook e1, because after rook e1, c5 needs to be played, and rook f1, knight takes, and then rook comes here again. And afterwards, like, this is how it needs to go for black pieces. This is winning idea, but Yagiz Kaan Erdogmus missing this variation, and luckily he did. Otherwise we wouldn't have seen that beautiful checkmate. And yeah, bishop comes to h3 and d6, asking for this rook. Rook comes to e2, and after rook comes to h4 and attacking this queen. Queen goes to f5 and still protecting this bishop. And then queen comes back to trade this. But after that, actually, we don't want to trade the queens, because we have some winning ideas. And actually, in this position, white pieces has yeah, 1 pawn up, by the way. But after this rook comes here to attack on this queen, and instead of like instead of this first, he plays d7, because he thinks like, if you take, I'm just gonna promote. Actually, that's the thing. Like, if you take it, it's just totally fine, and white winning. But you are not gonna take it. You are not gonna take it, because there is actually feel free to stop this. Actually, after this one, rook takes d2 and queen goes b8, and king, yeah, has to come on h7. And after queen promotes another, white promotes another queen. Feel free to pause the video and find this checkmate, because even though white pieces has 2 queen over the board, but black piece actually has checkmate in 6 moves. And idea is sacrificing this queen, and he has to take, because if you don't take, it's just checkmate again. He has to take. Taking, another rook comes. This is the only place king can go. Takes this bishop, sacrificing that bishop as well. And another check. King goes to g4. f5, which is protecting with this rook. h5 is the only move king can go. And after that, we're seeing g6, and it is checkmate. And it was really huge pleasure to watch this checkmate. And this position, I mean, white has 2 queen over the board. Black has even nothing, like, against this 2 queen. Black doesn't even have a queen over the board. And actually, if you trade this rook also, black has only 1 rook against 2 queen. But this position, it was just masterclass. And in my humble opinion, it worth to be framed and hang in the wall in living room. Yeah, that was it. This game happened on 4th round of the Fide Grand Swiss. And please don't forget, like the video and subscribe to my channel to see more such videos and crazy games and etc. In my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.